This is Liz.
This is Jade.
And I'm Carly. And you're listening to Babes
and Babies. Working on it. So, you guys know how everyone in Bachelor Nation has a podcast now? Well, we do too. Totally. We're hopping on that train. But I think ours is a little bit more unique than what you guys are typically listening to when it comes from the Bachelor people. Do you agree?
Yes. So the Babes and Babies podcast, we want to just invite you guys to be part of our personal journey of me being a doula, Jade being a first-time mom, and Carly being pregnant, about ready to be a mom any day now.
Any day now, you guys. It could happen while we're talking.
Oh, no.
I mean, can you imagine? My water could break right now.
You better take this recorder with you and take us along.
Don't you worry. I got you, girls.
Thanks. Yeah, but we just, we want a chance for you guys also to share your journeys with us as well. And just for this to be a judgment-free zone where we talk about everything, motherhood, pregnancy, babies, even being single, wanting babies.
Women's
bodies, all the functions.
Yes.
And yeah, for everyone to be able to be a part of that, to get educated, to ask questions. We're going to be bringing in special guests who are going to be able to answer some of those questions and educate all of us on some of it.
Yeah, and I think the one thing that we really want to do in this podcast is keep it real. Like, we promise you guys, we're going to keep it honest. We want to talk about all the nitty-gritty stuff. We're not just going to be like, oh, we're cute Instagram moms. Nothing wrong with that.
No, we're going to talk about, like, poop. And not just from our babies, from us too.
From everybody.
Or the lack thereof that happens during pregnancy.
Yeah.
All of it, guys.
But I'm super excited to be doing this with you guys.
Me too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I hope everybody who's listening, I hope that you take something from this and that you do feel just welcome. That's the one thing that's really important to us, is just to have an authentic voice, and for everyone else to feel that way too.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen, sister. Take it to church.
Exactly. So I guess the one thing that I wanted to touch on in this podcast was, Carly, how is your pregnancy going?
Oh my gosh. Well, I have, 2 weeks and 5 days, I think, till my due date, which
That's
is
insane.
I mean, Jade, you already had a baby by this time. That's like what? Emerson was 2 weeks old?
I had her at 36 weeks, 0 days.
So a week. She was a week and a half. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm prepared. Everything's set up. I'm just uncomfortable, and I'm ready for her to come out. I went and took Evan today to get one of those reflexology foot massages, because I heard that gets people prepared for labor. I've been drinking raspberry leaf tea because that's supposed to help.
Yes.
I've been eating spicy foods. I'm just ready for her to greet the world, and I don't think she's ready to greet the world yet.
You're doing all the things. She's like, no, Mom.
I know. She's being really disrespectful, and I don't like it.
I'm super comfortable. What are you trying to do to me?
I know.
Well,
but
that's definitely the hard thing. I feel like it gets really I've never been pregnant, so it's hard for me to comment. But from what most people have told me is at the end, you're ready, and then you're waiting, and then,
yes,
you're ready for her to come out and to meet her, and you do get a little anxious about it. But she's just in there getting all those last nutrients she needs, and all the last things from you, and everything that she needs to make her journey into the world to meet you,
I know. I try to I feel really selfish when I'm like, okay, get out. I'm like, oh no, you actually need things from me. Okay, you can stay in. I'm being a bad mom.
No. Well, they say one thing that does help trigger labor as well, when you are getting to your last straw and ready to have her, is orgasming, actually.
I know. I've heard about this.
I've heard about this thing.
Because it's oxytocin, and that's what your body starts to produce when you go into labor.
Mm-hmm. I know. Here's the thing about that. Here's the thing about the sex during pregnancy this late in the game. I am so uncomfortable. I can barely lay on my side or sit up or do anything. The thought of something going in and out of me while a baby is moving around in me all of that, like, freaks my brain out. And I feel so bad for Evan. I'm sorry. I'm uncomfortable. I can't even think about it. Like, and I know people really do it. They love it. They say it feels amazing. And I'm like,
really?
Yes. One of my friends was like, I loved
God.
sex at the end of my pregnancy. Like, yes, get her out all day, every day. Like,
wow. I guess because all the blood is down there, you know, everything's just like really like juicy and squishy and preparing for you to have this baby. So I guess maybe that's just why there's so much pleasure down there. But to me, we didn't have the chance to do that, like Tanner and I, because Emerson came early. But it doesn't seem sexy. You know what I mean?
No, I would say I don't feel sexy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's just functional at this point.
Did Tanner find your body super sexy though? Like, Evan finds my body so sexy. He's like, you are so beautiful. And I'm like, do you have glasses that you need to put on? Because your eyesight is messed up.
I think Tanner found me super sexy when we were pregnant. And then not only then, Carly, but after you have your baby, like, he's just gonna want to do it with you all the time. Like, Tanner, as soon as like Emerson was out, he just like seeing me as a mom, every day he'd just be like, I want to jump you. And I'm like, well, you can't yet. Because
my vagina is the size of a...
Yeah, it's still like a massacre down there.
Did you did you look down there? Like, I know some people say, oh my God, don't look down there after you have a baby.
I did.
I feel like I would have to. Like, I gotta know. It's my body.
Yeah, I waited a while. So I waited maybe like 2 to 3 weeks though, because the first couple weeks you're just so sore and you're just really trying to recover and it just doesn't feel. But I had to look, and it looks a lot different at that point.
So is it like it's longer? Like what?
It's longer swollen? And it looks like a black hole.
Stop it. That's what it looks like. It looks like space. Oh no.
It looks like the universe is inside you.
Oh my gosh. So looking forward to that. Well, I mean,
actually sounds very poetic and artistic.
It is kind of beautiful. It was, but because then I'm like, oh wow, like my body did this thing and it's all healing and you can see the progress and it's really cool that your body is designed to do this.
Yes.
And it is that romantic poetic part to it, but at the same time, you're just like, oh my God, like it's your body went through this, like it is a little bit of like physical trauma. You
totally.
know? And so, but I had to know, I had to look.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look too. I will say that the closer I've gotten to actually like knowing the birth is like right around the corner, the more comfortable I am with the idea of labor. Because Jade, you knew I was totally freaked. Like this whole pregnancy, I've been like, I am so scared. And now I'm like, okay, like I'm ready to just do it and get it over with.
What do you think's made you more comfortable with the idea of labor?
I think maybe just being able to, like, picture it more. Like, because now I'm having the sensations you're supposed to have. Like, I'm having Braxton Hicks, and I'm getting, like, you know, pressure down there. And I think maybe all of that is just kind of making me feel like, oh, it's coming. And maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, and your hormones your hormones are literally telling you that you're ready. You know, I mean, like that's what nesting is. Yes. It's essentially being like, I'm ready for my baby to be here. And I feel like that probably does give you a little bit more, that sense of like, I can do this.
Yeah, there's a little bit of calm about it. But then, and I'm just kind of like looking forward to the moment that I'm like, oh my gosh, Evan, she's coming. It's here. You know, like I'm like looking forward to like that specific moment. And before I was like traumatized by that moment. I was so panicked.
Yeah. Well, that's really exciting though that you're looking forward to it, because I feel like that means, you know, that you are ready, that you're ready for her to come and at peace with it.
Yeah, I'm sitting over here smiling for you because I just remember that feeling of like it's actually happening and just the adrenaline.
Oh my god!
And just like the excitement, like and the fear. There's a sense of fear there, but I'm just really excited for you.
It's so crazy too. I think one thing that's helped in a really weird way is so Evan's 2 youngest boys have been asking me about like, okay, so like. When she comes, like when you go into labor and your water breaks, does she come in like 5 minutes? And I'm like, so no. And I'm like having to explain like, all of the things you go through before she even gets there. And it might be, you know, hours, it might be days, it might be, and they're just so excited. They're like, oh my gosh, we're just so excited for somebody to come in our classroom and be like, Carly's in labor. Come on, we're going to the hospital. But it's been like so cute to be able to explain to them like what labor is and when their sister's coming, and they're so excited. And I think that even made me in the past like 2 weeks like even more excited too, because they're like, everyone at school is like praying for you and they're all like asking how you're doing, and it's so cute.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it's like, it's so cute that they're so excited about their little sister coming, like, and asking questions and not being like weird about asking questions. Like, they're really wondering, which you don't think like little kids would be like, so what happens, you know?
Yeah,
but
no,
they
I
are.
love that.
They're so curious.
That's so cute. So my youngest brother, Briley, was born when I was in second grade. And I remember I was so excited that I don't know if they do show and tell anymore, but I took him to show and tell because I was like, look at what my mom did. Like, here's my baby brother, you know? Oh, yeah. I was so excited.
Oh, my gosh.
I think I remember that.
Do you? Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. You guys are cute.
That's so funny.
So I want to talk more about, I guess, like your birth plan, if you have one, Carly. If like, you know, like, she's like, oh man, like what are you expecting exactly to get out of your birth or anything at all? Like, I'm super fascinated with birth plans. I love them. When I was pregnant, I was like, what do people really want on their birth plan? And then so I know you and I have like, we've kind of had different, I guess, like personalities when it comes to being pregnant on certain things.
You're like Wonder Woman.
Yeah. No. But I'm just like, but no, this is why I love talking to other women, because I love birth stories. I love just hearing all the different aspects, because each thing is so unique and each woman is so unique. And so I just want to know, like, exactly what are your ideals? Like, if you would be like, this is how I want my birth to go, or whatever, what you're expecting.
I remember when you were pregnant and you were like watching all of these birth videos.
I was obsessed
online. Yes. And I was like, Jade, you are super weird. And you're like, yeah, that's why you love me. And I was like, yes, that is true. But like, I am so the opposite of that. Like, I have watched one video and it wasn't a natural birth. It was actually an OBGYN, and it was her first labor that she was giving birth. And
that's cool.
It was her going in and obviously having contractions and being in pain and then getting an epidural. And then I watched her birth through the epidural and how like calm that made her. And she was like, oh my gosh, I feel no pain. This is crazy. So my plan, as in life usually, is like the no plan. Like, let's say I was going to an audition in college. I was like, I would halfway know the monologue and probably know the song, maybe. And I'd go in and be like, I can wing it. Like, that's how I've always been in life. And I know,
like, I got this.
Yeah. And I'm like, you know what? I was designed to do this. Like, I'm just going to go in there and ask for the drugs. And then I'm going to get all of the drugs. And then it's not going to hurt anymore. And then she's going to come out. And then I'm going to be mom. And that's going to
be amazing.
So my one thing on my birth plan, well, two. One, she comes out. But before that is to get an epidural, because I just have the like worst pain tolerance ever. Like, you could touch me and I'd be like, ow, that is extremely painful.
You're like, stop it.
Yeah.
Make it stop.
I mean, you know, my mom had all natural births because actually she, you know how an epidural can like trigger migraines?
Yeah.
So it can do a lot of things that aren't great anyway. But she was just too scared because she gets migraines anyway. So she was like, I did them all natural, but if I didn't have migraines, I probably would have gotten an epidural. So I think my plan is just to kind of like go in and be like, okay, can you make it not hurt? And can you make her come out? And then we'll be set. And then I'll peace out, guys.
That's awesome. So it's not so much a birth plan as it is your life plan.
Yes.
For everything.
I mean, people don't really change a lot. And what's funny is like, okay, so obviously like I live in Nashville and there's this section of Nashville called East Nashville, which is like, the hipster area where everything's like organic and natural foods.
Where the cool kids are.
The cool kids are there, which honestly, like I love natural foods and I love organic things and I want to be a cool kid. But actually Jade and I lived there for like, a couple months.
We kind of started the trend and then we were too cool, so we left.
Yes.
We're just like, now we're too cool for cool.
That's exactly what happened. But I went to a party with a bunch of East Nashville people a couple months ago, and they were like, so what is your birth plan? And I said, I think probably to get the drugs and then get her out. And you guys, their faces were like horrified.
You've never been so judged in your life.
I mean, no, I really had not. And they were like, "Oh, we pegged you for a natural birth person," and I was like,
Pegged.
So no, like, and
Not so. Well, the thing here's the common misconception that drives me crazy is you're still having a natural birth. Like if you have drugs, like it's not like some alien came beside you and now it's your baby. Like, and a natural birth to me is a cesarean or a vaginal birth.
Right.
And there are times definitely where cesareans are absolutely needed.
Yeah.
And, like you're still, I don't think that changes your journey of having your baby vaginally and then becoming a mother. Like it's still such a natural process.
yeah. And the one thing that I think is sad about what people, it's just so judged now, whichever way, there's there's so much judgment on it. And I just hate that women, regardless of whichever one they're choosing, are being judged by the opposite side.
It's almost like birth has become like a competition.
Yes.
And they're like, oh, well, my birth was like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, you did that. It's just like, I think like no matter how you birth a baby, as long as you know you have options.
Yes.
And you know you are supported, that is all that matters.
And
like.
I think, Jade, like, it's amazing that you did this naturally. Like, I seriously think you are Wonder Woman. You are like,
But I'm that freak, Carly. Like, I'm that person that like wanted the pain.
I know.
She was telling me before.
But it's awesome. And I wish I could be like that.
No, she was telling me before, like a month before Emerson came, or even a couple weeks, she just started getting these crazy instincts. And she was like, Liz, all I really want to do is just go into an open field by myself and birth her.
God, I
like, this is just how I
that.
feel. Yeah, she just like, that was her instinct.
It was a very core part of my body at that time. Like,
my God.
I was almost serious. Like, people were like, Jade, you're kind of crazy. But I'm like, I would do it.
You would. I mean, sometimes I feel like we're those girls that would like dance naked in a field, like holding hands.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just a Tuesday night, so I don't know what you mean.
Yes, we're like wood nymphs.
I didn't even like blink. I'm like, yeah.
Right. Obviously. No, but I also feel like that's why it's so important for us to do this podcast, is to start just empowering women to stop shaming each other.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if you opted for a C-section and chose your baby's birth date, or if you had an all-natural birth in a field, or if you breastfeed or bottle feed, or if you, vaccinate your children or not. Like, we have to stop shaming each other and start supporting each other and work on raising good human beings in the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Amen.
Who love.
Yes.
Spreading the love.
Yeah.
I
Not
love
the
that.
shame. We get so shamed anyways from everything, especially as women.
Everything. And it's so much worse now that social media is so huge, because everyone thinks that they have this platform to just speak their mind, and they do, but it's sometimes so negative and hurtful that it's so different than it was before.
Yeah. Right. There's a way of stating what's best for yourself and having your opinions. Like, we don't want to take away people's opinions either.
Right.
But it's another thing to go and like purposely, intentionally try to hurt somebody or hinder something.
Right.
That's you know, that's just when it's kind of like, why are we doing this to each other in society? And,
Right.
and like Liz said, especially as women, we already have things that in society that put us back. Like we should join hands. I'm getting a little like inspirational here, but you know what I mean? Like
Jade's even bobbing her head back
I'm
and
like,
forth.
I love it. I love it so
right
much.
now.
but for real, like being a woman and having the ability to birth and this in general is so incredible. Like we should just celebrate all women.
Yeah. And
Well, and I think that... Oh, go ahead.
no, you go. You go.
No, I was just going to say, I think our culture stepped so far away from when you give birth, that's your rite of passage into motherhood. And we don't celebrate that anymore. It doesn't matter how it happened. Like, we want a healthy baby and a healthy mama, and you should be celebrated for what your body has done.
Right.
Yes.
You know?
My midwife, so she would call it my birthday. So when I had Emerson, she looked at me and she said, "Happy birthday to you," because it's my birthday. You know, like
I
it's my
love that.
Yeah, like she's really into celebrating like Liz said, like you as a woman and your passage into motherhood, which was just like, I was like, I love you. Like my midwife is amazing, but I was like, it was exactly like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess what I wanted to touch on as well, since we're talking about birth plans, is do birth plans really ever go the way we plan them anyways?
Well, like Carly said earlier, from most of what she's heard, no. And I would say a lot of the same, even just the births that I've been to. I think that it's an awesome concept. I think especially for people who have, like Carly has a life plan of winging it. And that's awesome. But there's people who want to plan things out and people who like need to know, like, okay, if I'm going into this, I need A, B, and C. And if C doesn't happen, then I need this. And then they have all these steps in their mind that they want to go. And I think also if you plan on birthing in a hospital and having a drug-free birth, it's nice to have a birth plan just so that you know all of your different options as far as even if you end up getting drugs, just the necessary steps that you want to take for managing pain, for different birthing positions. And I'm sure we'll go into this sometime, I guess, like detailed birth plans. There's so many things that you can ask the doctor for to help you labor without any drugs or medication. And that's why I love being a doula, is to be able to be that person there to help. But there's so many, I think one of the big things that I like to talk to people about is it's great to have a plan, but I think that plan A for everyone needs to be a healthy baby and a healthy mama.
Yes.
And that's where people get
Derailed.
Absolutely. And I know that we're going to bring a guest on soon who works in the NICU, and some of you people out there may know her as Danielle Maltby, but she's seen a lot of that happen with women who are trying to stick so hard to their birth plan and need to have medical intervention and are refusing it, and there's consequences. Yeah. And it's really, really hard, to be that person in there on either side supporting. And I also know that, excuse me, a lot of doulas have gotten a bad name because they tend to be only in supportive of the all-natural route. And I worked with several doctors in Las Vegas who, after the birth, thanked me for just being a part of their team and being along for the journey, because I did several births that had epidurals, and they said that they had worked with doulas before that were just fighting it. And I'm like, dude, this isn't your plan. Yeah. It's not a doula's plan. Like, this is this woman's plan and how she's feeling. And you have to be supportive either way. If she's gone as far as she can and she needs a little help, awesome. Like, encourage her and be like, you know what, you did so well. Right now, we just need a little extra help. Yeah. Right now, we need this other thing. Like, you're doing awesome. Like, your baby's going to be here soon. And just encouraging them along the way, because what's even worse is somebody who's trying to do it all natural, and then they need, like I said, stuff happens, and sometimes you need drugs or you need an intervention in some way. And it's worse when you don't have people advocating for that for you and pushing you and to stick to the plan when the plan has to change.
Yeah.
So I think that the one thing that I always tell my mamas is, you know, this is great, this is awesome, but like, not even a but, I don't like the word but, like, this is great, this is awesome. Our one goal, though, is healthy you, healthy baby.
I like that.
Boom.
That's how it should be.
100.
Yeah, I agree. I think just birth plans, I think just maybe are, I think like for me, it helped me like be educated. Like, you know, I'd be like, oh, like I can do this or I can do that. Like, oh, there's an eye cream that goes on your baby's eyes when your baby comes out, and I can refuse that if I don't want it. What is it? You know, and like then I would, and everyone who knows me, I love to research things. I'm like constantly researching, so I'd be like, oh, what's that? And you know, and I just feel like it gives women who may not know that they have options, because they just go in and they think, oh, it's just a routine birth, and I'm just going to do whatever the doctor tells me to. Like you can have a birth the way you want it in certain things too. So I feel like that's why I got really obsessed with birth plans.
I like to use it as an educational tool as well, because if I send out a sample birth plan to people, then they're like, oh, what's intermittent monitoring? Oh, I didn't know that I don't have to be hooked up the entire time. I can get up and walk around, or I can request to eat and drink during labor, or I can, you know, say whatever, A, B, and C, or like you said, not to put the eye cream on. I think one thing that is important that a lot of people are doing now is doing skin to skin afterwards.
And we talked about this, Carly.
Yeah, I do want to do that. That's okay. I have 3 things in my birth plan.
Give me the drugs, get her out, put her on my chest.
Yeah.
Perfect. But I think that that's something that's awesome that research is coming out too, and just saying how important that initial first contact is. But I like using it as an educational tool. That's essentially what doulas do, is we help educate people on what their options are so that they can make wise decisions for themselves, and then help with comfort measures and different things like that during labor and delivery. But,
which is why I wanted you at my birth.
Please come to mine now. Now I'm feeling alone and like I need a birth plan, you guys.
No.
I think the reason that I probably wing things in life too is because, you know, you make these plans, and sometimes the plans really don't go according to plan. And then you're faced with like this major disappointment, and you're like, man, well, if I just had gone in and been like, whatever happens, happens, then you don't get faced with like, you know, the disappointment of this not happening or this not happening. So that's probably why I've always been like that. Because, you know, you just...
No, that makes sense. If our lives would have gone according to what we planned, we all would have been married so young. And like, you know, like had babies super young and been doing this whatever. And then, but when things also don't work out the way that necessarily you planned, you're like, oh wait, I got something so much better.
Yes, totally.
You know?
And everything works itself out. Like when Emerson came early, Tanner and I didn't even have a hospital bag packed. We literally had nothing. Tanner went and ran and grabbed a couple things and threw it into a plastic grocery sack, and we left. You know what I mean? Like, we were like, oh my God, like we didn't even have our car seat with us, you know, or anything. And, everything worked out.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally. Meanwhile, I had my hospital bag packed like a month ago. And I have everything set up. So, like, we're a little opposite that way.
Which is funny.
Which is super funny. Like, you had a plan for the hospital. I have a plan for, like, the getting to the hospital, and the coming home is now set. Not that I really know how to keep a baby alive yet, but that's where I'm just going to call you guys. And, we just podcasted every week, and you continue to tell me how to keep a child alive.
It is a journey.
Luckily, I have Evan, who's done it multiple times.
That's true.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And he's so good with babies.
Oh, he's like
I know
the
Jade
baby
was telling
whisperer.
me. That's what Jade said. Yeah. She said that when she was in Nashville, she was like, Evan just held her the entire time.
I mean, he can't not. It's like he's magnetized. Like, he's just so obsessed with children. It's so cute. Even I was like, hey, Evan, like, every Sunday for, like, an hour, do you mind if I podcast, you can babysit? And he's like, I don't even understand the question. Like, obviously. Like, it's my child. I'm going to be, like, holding her all day anyway. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. You're not the typical, non-bonding dad. He's like already bonding. And she's not even
especially when he has this little girl. It's his first girl. Like, he's going to be so wrapped around her finger.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I think he already is.
Right. And she hasn't even come out yet, So imagine when she's here.
Gosh, he's so obsessed with Emerson. He is like, okay, when is she coming back? When is she coming? Like, I need to hold her. I need to look at her face. I'm like, I know.
Aww.
I was like, she's coming back. Don't you worry. She'll be here in a month.
Funny. Yeah, but once we come back, you're going to have your little girl, and then he's just going to be like, oh, it's Emerson.
No, because, I mean, Emerson's face is the cutest face I've ever seen.
She's adorable.
She's so cute. Like, every feature on her is like perfect angel Ann Getty's doll beautiness. Beautiness isn't a thing, but I'm making it a thing.
It is a thing.
It is on this podcast.
It is. All the beautiness.
Okay, so I have a question for you, Carly.
Okay.
Now that we're talking about Evan, do you guys have a plan for him? Is he going to stay like on like the head side, or like next to your shoulders and like encourage you? Is he going to be down on the business side?
Have you guys
he
doesn't want to
that?
be in the business side. So he's so he adopted his oldest kid. That was actually his ex-wife's kid from a previous marriage. So he's had 2 children through that ex-wife that he's gone to the birth that were his blood. So he, I think, was down in the business with both of those, and he's not about the business this time. Which is fine.
He ain't about that business.
He's not. So I think he was like, I think I'm just going to stay up by you. And I'm like, what? I'm kind of just letting Evan do whatever he wants with this one because he has done it before, and I know he's going to obviously be there to encourage me, but he's also like, I know you're going to be mean to me.
No.
I'm going to try really hard not to, like, bite your head off.
I was mean to Tanner at one point, so it's okay.
I mean,
really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I was watching What to Expect When You're Expecting yesterday.
I love that movie.
Oh my gosh. And the lady who's like, she'll be like yelling at her husband while she's going in labor, and then she's like, I'm sorry, I love you, get away from me. I'm sorry, I just hold my hand. Like,
well, through that part it was okay, but I got really nauseous from all the hormones. And Tanner's mom brought him McDonald's. Stop. And he was sitting there eating a like sausage McMuffin or something, and it smelled like the worst thing I've ever smelled in my life. And he's just sitting there, and I labored in the tub, and I'm looking at him in the tub, and I'm about to murder him.
Oh yeah.
And he was like, "What?" I go, "I've just thrown up twice, and you're eating that right next to my face."
Oh, and
he just kind of he laughs.
He laughs.
And he eats more, and I look at him, and there's about 2 bites left, and I'm like, "Are you gonna finish that?" And he was like, "Yeah, there's 2 bites left." And I'm not a mean person, but at that moment, I was like, "I'm gonna get out of this tub, and I'm gonna push you out of this room." Like, it's natural, because when there's that many hormones going through your body and your adrenaline is up and you're in so much pain. Well, you might not be.
Yeah. But who knows? You could go in
be
and
really nice.
But, there's things with epidurals too where like you could like be way too into labor to even get one. Like I'm going in saying I want one, but it could happen that I have to like be Wonder Woman. I don't know.
Well, sometimes you get one early and it wears off by the time you're pushing.
Oh,
and
that
then
sounds terrible.
It's happened to my friend. She got an epidural, and then she said right when she was at 10 centimeters and she's pushing, it like wore off. So,
Wow.
And I feel like that's even worse because it's not like you even had the buildup to like get ready to do it. It was just like no pain to what?
They call that part the ring of fire.
That's what she said.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because when the head is coming out, it's like a ring of fire down there.
It's like,
whew.
That just
Carly will be like, round 2, please. Round 2.
That ring of fire. That ring of
yeah.
fire. That's all I keep thinking right now. And
it has a whole new meaning.
That's what it's exactly about.
Oof. Yay, guys.
Yay. No, I feel like everything's going to be fine. But yeah, I feel like you said, I mean, maybe you're too late, maybe whatever. But either way, like, we're so excited to hear what happens. Have you thought about, I guess, so when's your exact due date?
The 16th of February.
Okay.
I actually still think it's a little bit earlier than that because according to my calculations, it was actually we got pregnant a few days before that. Mm-hmm. But whatever she was measuring at the time was like slightly different. But we do go in 2 days for an ultrasound to check on like the weight and height and all that stuff. So who knows? Maybe he'll say, "Oh, it's maybe a few days earlier. Oh, she doesn't look like she's coming anytime soon." So at least I get more information soon.
Yeah. Has your doctor? I mean, have you guys talked at all about, if you go over your due date, does your plan change at all? Yeah.
We haven't yet. I don't know. What I think is so weird about these pregnancy appointments is you go in and you listen to the heartbeat and they take your blood pressure and they're like, "Okay, any changes? Okay, see you later." It's like so pointless.
Right, they're so uneventful. You're like so excited, and then they're like, "Okay, see you next week." And you're like, "We did nothing."
I know. So Evan asked this time. He was like, because my brother and his wife had a baby, 5 months ago, and she had so much more information than me at the end. And so Evan was like, "Do you know maybe the weight of the baby or any of that?" And he was like, "Well, we would only know that from an ultrasound." And then he measured me, and he was like, "Well, you're measuring a little bit small." And he was like, "So I'll put in an ultrasound and then we can just see." And I was like, "Okay." So he said, just because I'm measuring small doesn't mean anything. It will probably just mean she's a smaller baby.
Sure. But you're also small right now too. Like I think and that could depend on all sorts of things. Plus you're already naturally tiny. Like how do you know like a woman who's like 5'10" to compared to a woman who's 5'2"? Like all of our bellies are so different. How do you measure?
Yeah.
How's that accurate? That's something I want to know.
Oh my God. I have no idea. It's so weird.
Yeah. And I saw pictures, Carly. I mean, I haven't really seen you since you've been fully, later. I saw you at the very, very beginning.
Right.
I think you just kind of found out.
Yes.
But you look so cute and tiny, like Jade was saying in your pictures. And I know when Jade was pregnant, she was like tiny. And I just know, like, I'm just going to be fat. Like, my arms are going to be fat. No.
That's what I thought would happen to me, and it didn't.
Me too, though. Me too.
No, but my sister is tiny. Corinne is tiny. So tiny. And when she gets pregnant, she just, like, she gets a chubby face, chubby arms, like, everything. And then she gives birth and then goes back to being, like, a size 2 like immediately after, and I just know I'm gonna blow up like she does, then not go back to a size 2.
I think whatever. I think the reason I probably didn't gain that much weight was it was really hard. Like I've been nauseous my entire pregnancy. So I mean, just in the last week, you guys, I have like been so hungry. Like every hour, I'm like, I could eat, and that is so not what has been happening in my pregnancy. So I think that's probably why I haven't blown up, was because I can't fit. I feel too full, or I don't feel like eating. I've gained, I think, 22 pounds right now, which is what he said is the right range to gain. So, I mean, that's fine. Like, at least I'm at the weight I should be. But I really think that the reason that I didn't blow up is because I really couldn't eat because I just didn't feel good.
Well, you didn't have like the typical morning sickness in the first trimester. You got really sick the second trimester. And that's when a lot of women gain the weight.
Yeah, that makes sense then. Yeah,
sorry.
No, I think back on that and I'm like, oh, gross. I mean, there's even days I wake up now and I'm like, oh, which is crazy. Like I'm about to have this baby and I'm still nauseous. Like what?
Yeah, you've kind of had all three trimesters.
Yeah, it's really. Thanks, Bella.
Yeah. Oh, I hope you don't. Because I did. I puked 3 times in labor. I hope you don't get that.
Well, she might, because a lot of times when people get the epidural, you throw up.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Great.
So that's why they don't let you eat or drink during labor, because in case you get an epidural, you're going to throw up. Okay. So, not you're going to. You might. So they usually make everyone leave the room, and then they give you a trash can, and you like bend over, and they give it to you. Or you don't bend over; you're sitting up, but you lean forward.
Okay.
And a lot of times it can make you nauseous and you'll throw up. But, I mean, then they kick in and you are good to go.
Sounds great. Sounds
You're
bad
like,
and then good.
I'll take throwing up a little bit over experiencing the ring of fire.
Oh, yes, I shall. Yes.
But one thing, since they might, like, if you go into labor at home, well, like you're saying how Evan's sons, they were asking you all these questions. Well, Hollywood always makes it look like your water breaks, you go to the hospital, you push the baby out, and everything's
screaming
great.
like crazy.
Yeah.
But a lot of times your water breaking isn't your first sign of labor. Sometimes it doesn't break until you're 8 centimeters along, or there's been babies born in,
sack. In call. Right.
Yeah, so you'll have all different signs of labor, but try to, like, eat a sandwich or whatever you want to eat. Like, eat something at home before you go to the hospital, because you might be 6 hours in later and they haven't given you the epidural yet, but they don't let you eat anything.
Gotcha.
Because you're going to get it. Man. I would definitely, once you think you're in labor, eat a meal, eat whatever you think you can have, and then...
I ate something really mild. I think I had a bagel with cream cheese, so it wasn't anything crazy, but it was just something that was of substance that I knew would digest, like, easily. It wasn't like... like my last meal or something,
Yeah. You were eating that so much during your pregnancy, too. Bagels.
That's all I like. Yeah, well, especially my first trimester, because I had really bad morning sickness, and that's all I could handle was mine became at night. So I could eat a bagel and cream cheese in the morning, and then I really couldn't eat anything else, and then I would puke at night.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Right when Tanner would come home, I'd be like, hey, baby. Blah. Yeah.
I get such bad baby fever, and now after talking about you guys, like, being so sick during pregnancies, I'm like, I'm good right now.
No, but I would do it all over again and again.
They say that you forget. Is that true, Jade?
You don't really forget, but it's just because when the baby comes out and just the love, and especially after like you're healed and you just like are going through the journey of being a mom, you're just like, I can do this again. Like I went through it before and survived.
Right.
And I don't know. And now like for me, I'm like, oh my God, pregnancy is amazing. Like I loved being pregnant, which I did, but maybe I have forgotten a little bit then because I had some rough times. But still, again, I'd be like, I want to be pregnant. Like I think about that all the time. I'm like, I just want to be pregnant again, even though I'm not ready to have a second child. But I think about it all the time.
It's so crazy too how there's so many women that absolutely love being pregnant, and there's a lot of women that hate it, and that again is so judged too. Because I feel really like. I really don't like being pregnant. I have not had a good experience with it, but I'm so thankful that I am because there are women out there that can't. And so part of me feels like, oh gosh, Carly, don't feel that way. Like you should be so thankful that this is happening. But the side effects that have come along with my pregnancy have made me so sick that it's put this, I don't know, this cloud kind of over pregnancy for me. But at the end of the day, I think every woman who is pregnant is so thankful that they are. But it is like there are two different sides. I mean, there are the people that are like Caitlin was telling me, like Heidi and Spencer, like Heidi loves being pregnant. And, she had a baby and then was like, oh my gosh, let's get pregnant again. And I'm like, oh no, Yeah. I mean, I say that now. But
each pregnancy is different too. So some women have like I would say I had an average pregnancy. I had the morning sickness. I had the uncomfortable feelings at the end. But like for me, like if I get pregnant again, I could have a very, very hard pregnancy. Like every pregnancy is so different. And so it's just, you never know. But I understand what you're saying about like if you like publicly, well, you kind of publicly announced, but if you were just like, I don't really like being pregnant, like I'm glad I'm having my baby, but like pregnancy kind of sucks. Like some women are like, oh, like she's just not going to be a good mom.
Or they're like like some people can't get pregnant, Carly. Like, did you ever think of that? Like you should be so much more grateful than you're being. And it's, but
there's a difference, between you can be thankful that you are and not necessarily enjoy the process because you're so thankful for what you're getting.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Are you supposed to be like, like, oh my God, I'm so thankful I'm throwing up every day. This is amazing.
Right.
But I think some women like that, maybe they do or they don't get that. But, You know, it's like your hair grows, and yes, my hair looks way better. Like
Your hair is fantastic.
I have some good hair right now. But there are things like that come with pregnancy that are these like amazing, like your skin looks good, your hair looks good, that this looks great, this is happening, like this endorphins are happening. But then there's also the bad that comes with it too. So I mean, there's both. Is what I'm saying, I guess.
Yeah. No.
To
I
each his
agree.
own.
Yes.
Well, but the thing I feel like that's really hard. Yeah, there are a lot of women out there that can't get pregnant and that want babies, and it's awesome that there's things now that can help along with that. But I also feel like you shouldn't have to shun your journey,
Right.
either.
You're right. I mean, I froze my eggs because I thought I couldn't get pregnant. So
Yeah,
the
I
fact that I
remember
am
that.
is wild anyway. But yeah, I'm glad I'm at the end. It's been quite the journey. I'd say.
Well, I am excited to meet little Isabella.
Me too.
I know. Let's put a name out there. It feels so much more real.
It really
Do you call her that
does.
now? Do
I
you
call
call
her
her that? Or do
Bella.
you just Bella? You do? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what nickname you have for her.
You know,
But
I've
you talk-
actually never really called her Isabella. Like, if I could just name
Okay.
her Bella, I would name her Bella. But I mean, Isabella is like a more beautiful, romantic, like novel from Jane Austen.
True.
So that's why I'm keeping it like that. But to me, she's just Bella.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Which
Yeah.
is beautiful in Italian.
Yes. Oh man, I love that. And Italy's my favorite place that I've ever been, so it's perfect. And Evan's Italian.
This makes
yeah.
sense. Oh, well, there you
It's
go.
meant to be.
Stars align.
Yes. Yeah.
So, but you do call her that when you like think about her or look at your belly, or
Yes,
does
and
Evan call her that?
Yeah, I think at this point, like everybody, like that's kind of
Aw.
surrounds her does. But for a while, you know, people were like, you know, does she feel like an Isabella? Does she feel like a Bella? And I was like, I don't know. And now,
Yeah.
yes, 100%, she does.
Cute.
Yeah.
See, I wasn't like that. So with Emerson, we had already picked out the name like right at the very beginning when we were pregnant. But I never thought of her as Emerson. I didn't like personify her in my belly. I don't know why. I guess because I just wanted to see her face
Yeah.
and then personify her. But personify. I don't know. We're just gonna leave it.
think so.
Someone will
But-
tell us.
Yes, somebody will tell me. But I just always, to me, she was just baby. It was just baby. But then when she came out, and Tanner and I were like, what do we call her? And we were just like, she's definitely an Emerson. But I didn't refer to her as Emerson until she was here. So I was just wondering, because everybody's different. I wondered if you were like, if you called her or think about her as Bella right now.
Yeah, I really do. Like, I think at first I pictured her like as a maybe, I don't know, 2-year-old, 3-year-old, like running around and me being like, Bella, come here and hold my hand. And that's kind
so
of where it
sweet.
started. And now, like, I really picture being like, this is Bella, or putting her down, like, in her crib and being like, good night, Bella. Like, I really see myself saying that.
That's so sweet.
We're like our ovaries over here are
I
dangling.
know.
Hey, so are
And I'm
mine.
just thinking about how sometimes I name my food babies. Names. That's all I have to name right now. Depending on what I ate. and
Speaking of
what's,
food, now
you
I'm
know,
hungry
noises
again.
my
Thanks, Liz.
stomach's making. Yeah. On the hour, man. Every hour. You need that snack.
Oh my
You're like, I hung out with Adele today. And you're like talking about your burrito.
Oh, right. Yeah. I know. Exactly. I do eat a lot of burritos. It's my favorite food, guys.
Well, thank you for listening.
Oh, man. That's so funny. No, but we are super excited to hear how your birth goes. And are you going to have a photographer, a birth photographer?
Oh, yeah.
No.
No. Okay.
I'm just not. I know that that's what people expect of people now with social media. I'm just not like that. I'm going to get a newborn photographer so I can get baby pictures. But honestly, I wasn't going to really even do that either. But now I know that I'll probably look back and be like, I should have. So that's the only reason I'm doing it. because I'm looking at my future self being like, don't be an idiot. Like, you're going to want cute pictures of your baby. But no, like, I didn't even do maternity photos. Maybe I just don't like cameras. I don't know. Which is funny because
who fell in love with her husband on camera.
Yeah, maybe I just don't really like them anymore. But I liked them then.
Right.
But yeah, no.
I feel like maybe what you're trying to say is you want it to be a little bit more sacred to you, you know?
Yeah.
Because, like...
I don't know.
Maybe.
That must be it. I'm going to stick with that one, yes.
Because it's your memories, and it's your... You know what I mean? Like, it's not like you feel like you're like, oh, God, now I have to share a maternity photo. You know, it's just like, this was me. You know, you just have it for yourself.
And, I mean, Jade, your photos were, like, unreal. Like, that photo of you that you posted is unbelievable. Like,
is it the one of her in the water?
Yes.
Pregnant? Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's
gorge.
Yeah, it's so gorgeous. But when I think about that for me, I feel like not that I don't want to remember that. I just don't know that I need a photo of it, maybe.
Sure. Which is nothing wrong with that. I think it was just because Tanner and I were in Hawaii for our baby moon, and I found this photographer that I fell in love with. And I was like, if I don't get photos with this photographer, I'm going to regret it. And then they ended up being, which is so funny
gorgeous.
but I didn't, you guys, we had to wake up at 4 a.m. and
so worth it
to get the sunrise. I know, but I didn't do my hair. It was so greasy. I
can't
didn't
tell at all.
Which is so funny because you guys are like, you guys look, you look like a water goddess. I'm like, I felt so like unnatural, and the water when like the waves would come would like knock me over.
No, you're
and,
like a mermaid.
You know, I'm like trying to keep my balance. But the photos I do love. I have that one hanging in Emerson's nursery's bathroom. Just so when I go in there, I'm like, it's just like, this was Emmy when she was in my belly. You know, like that's like why I love photos. Is because then I'm like, oh, like sometimes you forget. And so it's just like a little reminder.
Yeah, you're right. You're totally right.
Yeah. But you're good. You're good. With my birth photographer, I felt like I didn't even notice she was in there because she was very tactful.
How long was she there?
Not very long because I went into labor 4 weeks early at 3 a.m. in the morning. She got there pretty much when I was pushing.
Wow.
So she wasn't there for a lot of it. But at that point, I didn't know anyone was in the room.
No, you don't. You lose all modesty and...
I know. I was like, this lady's seen everything. Like, oh, you know, but she did an excellent job.
Yeah, she did. She really did. I know. I feel like I'm being so negative. I'm like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this.
That's not negative at all.
But
no.
I just feel like, I don't know, maybe some things maybe keep more to myself. I mean, at the end of the day, I really am like an introvert. Like you would think I was an extrovert because I'm good at like talking, but I really do keep a lot of things like close to home. So maybe it's something to do with that too. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not negative. It would be negative if you're like, you shouldn't have a birth photographer and you shouldn't do this, you know, but like what you like and what you want, those are your preferences and you have.
That's what I was
and I appreciate them. Like,
yeah.
Like, Jade, those photos are gorgeous. Like, there is, I mean, unreal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like them.
Well, who knows? Maybe next time we podcast, I'll have already had a baby, guys.
Yes. Although I kind of want to do like a baby countdown, but I am so excited.
Oh,
for her to be here.
What was the baby watch thing?
Oh, no, just like each podcast we can just like be excited, be like, yes, one more week. But
I mean, yeah, we are really...
babies come when babies want to come.
I know.
So.
And who knows? She could be late.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But let's not put that out there.
I know. I've been really, you guys, we're having chats. We're having lots of chats. Where I'm like, okay, so you're going to come early, a little bit early. And if you come on Valentine's Day, that's also really cool.
That is.
I'll get a cute outfit for you.
I don't want her to come too late because I want her to be an Aquarius because I'm an Aquarius.
Are you kidding me? Oh, that is like my biggest thing. I want her to be an Aquarius.
Oh, yay!
Oh, yeah. So when I saw
like
Carly and Evan in Nashville, Yeah.
Yeah.
She was like, Bella has to come early. And I'm like,
Nothing
why?
against Pisces.
I mean,
Nothing
so
against
there's
Pisces.
there's just 2 people I know that have put the Pisces. I'm like, oh man, if she's like that, I'm scared. So I think that's like where my head went. And so now I'm like, and then I know so many in Aquarius, and I like the musical Hair, and they're like, Aquarius. And I just like the song. It gives me good vibes. So, yes, I would like her to be an Aquarius. So that's why we're having lots of chats. And,
Nice.
I mean, I think she's going to do what I say. Maybe it's possible. Anything's possible.
It is possible.
I feel like she's an Aquarius.
Me too.
Me too.
Sold in the soul.
Yes. Yeah, I feel good about this.
I do too.
Yes.
Okay, let's make it happen, guys. Let me go get another foot massage today.
Yeah.
It hasn't worked yet. I've had 2. I've had 2 in the past 3 days.
Well,
The next
never
one.
know.
3rd time's a charm.
That's what Elizabeth said worked for her, right?
Yes.
Was the foot massage.
She went into labor the next day.
Wow.
Yeah.
wow.
I know. So crazy.
Reflexology knows what they're doing.
I mean, they really do. Today during my foot massage, I was really trying to like get in tune. I was like, okay, Bella, do you feel this? Like, do you know what this means? Like, connect to this feeling.
That's awesome, though. I feel like that works. Like, I don't know.
I do too.
We're But we're all super weird.
Yes. I know. Everyone listening is like, what is wrong with you?
I know. They're like, this mommy podcast is not helping. But it will one day. It will, because we'll have guests that know all of the things, and it won't be us just talking about like
being an Aquarius.
Yes.
I promise to only mention I'm an Aquarius once a podcast.
Right.
That's it.
Right. And we love Pisces too. It's just like, you know, those people that you're like, oh my gosh, I knew a person named Stephanie, and that's why I can't name my daughter Stephanie. It's just that same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We got you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, no, we are super excited to be on Baby Watch and wait for you to have the baby. And we're also super excited to share with everybody, like you were saying earlier, the special guests that we're going to have on board, the people that are here just to help all of us in the different parts of our lives and along our journeys. So if you guys out there listening do have any questions.
Yeah, we are starting a Facebook group page for Babes and Babies, just to continue the conversations that we have here, and just for everyone to feel like they have, like I said, like a safe place to go. We want moms to feel welcome, and I think starting something that will be supportive. You know, sometimes being a woman or being a mom or a mom-to-be can feel really isolating and lonely. And I feel like sometimes it's hard to find those people that you can just connect with. So we're starting a Facebook page so everyone can just connect with each other. And, also, you guys feel free to ask us questions on our social medias, on Instagram or Twitter, because we're going to be having Liz answer some questions as a doula, or just we want to know what topics you guys want to hear from our podcast. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that kind of wraps up this first podcast, guys.
I guess we should probably really say our social media just in case.
So Liz, I'll let you go first.
My Instagram is esandos.
And then my Instagram is Jade Liz Roper.
And mine is Carly Wad.
Carly Wad.
Yes. So ridiculous.
But feel free, guys, to reach out to us. We definitely are doing this podcast to connect. We wanna just feel, like I said, like empowered and connected as women, and there's no question too stupid that we want to address on this podcast.
And we're all new at this too, so we want your expertise as well. We want to hear your opinions. We want to hear what you're thinking. So
we want to know all the things.
Yeah, we're all in this together, and that's why we started this. So
yeah,
let's all join hands.
Girl power.
Yeah.
I guess that kind of concludes our first episode.
All right. Thanks everybody for listening.
Yeah, thanks guys.
We appreciate you. Mom power.